Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever when I would listen to within the world. This VOS. I'm coming to you now from the US, England, and Canada. So this is now Voice of Shyllon. So today now Sunday, October 13, 2024. Now today we could present with story a little differently in the sense that the first the headlines then will be announced by Mr. Mengot, and he will explain to us the topics that we will deal with today. So let me just quickly go over the information that we can get when we start the show. Number one, that's starting with the sources or the medium that we use for transmission, for carrier transmission them out. So let me start off with the phone numbers then. So if you're calling from North America, Mexico, Canada, United States, and you know how to pay for the call, you can just use the toll-free number when at 1-866-944-7722. Again, calling from the US, Canada, or Mexico, you can just call the toll-free number 866-944-7722. If you call from the United Kingdom, that also will be a free number that we're about to give you now. Now plus 44 2080891455 20. This now if you call from England, United Kingdom, now plus 44 2080891455. Likewise, if you call from Australia and how for pay for the call, there is a free number there when I plus 61 2909 84 337. Again, plus 61 2909 84 337. Of course, you also get a universal number, where regardless of where you're in the world where you want to call, at no expense to you, then you can use the WhatsApp number when at 1-343 997 5828. 1-343 997 5828. In addition to that, we get other sources there where we're not going to be able for reach we, in case we're not going to be able for Yeriwi, depending on where you are. For instance, we get a radio station in Freetown on a 91.9 FM. 91.9 FM, if you tune in, you will be able for gateway. Sometimes the reception might be enhanced by downloading the mobile app. The way you download the VOS television mobile app, now for go in at the Google Play Store, where for then at the screen of your telephone, or the Apple Play Store. That day you start forget the app. If you download the mobile app at the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. So Google Play Store, Apple App Store. So if you go able forget for reach this broadcasting where they take place. In addition to that, viewers get a variety of networks where you go be able for reach with. For example, you go get reach with a YouTube. If you go in a VOS network, you go find, then you will be able for also reach with a Facebook, Voice of Shyllon TV, Voice of Shyllon Radio, VOS-SL, VOS-UK, VOS-Australia. So if you go on Facebook, you do that, VOS Australia, VOS UK, VOS-SL, VOS Shyllon Radio, VOS Shyllon TV, you shall be able to reach me. If you want to go on X, which used to be Twitter, you try forget VOS television. You will be able to reach me through Twitter and through that medium there. Then we also get VOS TV website, VOStelevision.com. If you go to VOStelevision.com, you will be able to reach me. If you go to vosradio.com, you will be able to reach me. As I said earlier, if you go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, the mobile app, you will be able to reach me in a VOS television. Last but not least, we get Twitch, not tweet, Twitch, TWITCH TV, TWITCH TV. You go able to go look for VOS television on Twitch. You should be able to reach me. With that, also, I like for once the show begins, anybody will get a question, we will try for entertain calls. The lines will be open once the opening statement or beginning of what the program is going to be begins, and waiting Mr. Mengot and me will talk about. Once we do start, if you not get a question, for prevent people from holding too long, you please feel free to call, and we will try for entertain your call as soon as possible. Also, don't forget for sending a comment them by other means, through the other areas the word I just mentioned to Una. With that said, let us pass Una over to Mr. Mengot.
Well, thank you very much, big brother, Mr. Shyllon. And me way to talk to you now, we can always be like, me and Mengot, and with the broadcast or the joining her from Surrey in the UK. Today we'll get boku tea we want to talk about. But let me tell you what's in the topic for today. Sierra Leone's transport regulation. Is it safety or compromise? In anything what they do, transport nine they determine we life. Any side. Whether we want to go school, we want to go to workplace, we want to do business, all things center on transport. So this week, since na review with the review, this week we pass, baby non come, we don't happen at the transport sector. When a news, which I will say you get the good, the bad, and the ugly. And also we go deal with land transport, air transport, and sea transport. I know say boku the air then say don't start. People are excited. It's a progress, but then we will explain to people how this come about. For the land transport, we will come for telling her, but two type of transport we they use in Salone now. For the one that we don't get away from Salone for long, we get the two transport we want to talk about now the Okada. Waiting at Okada. Okada na the two-wheel. And me, na ma we like do research. I like for tell people them. Okada na motorbike, commercial motorcycle operation, then Kekeh na commercial tricycle operation. The difference between them two, one get two-wheel, the other one get three-wheel, but it's inside cage. But for a long time, we don't see the means of transport here. It depends, a lot of people and depend on them transport here. So me go talk as a transport man, not a bad thing. They're not a bad one. Reason being, then they create employment for people them, the young people them. They also, they go to area where other four-wheel, they're not the. But waiting at the challenge, now how will they regulate them? So let's start with history lesson. Why in name Okada and USA it come about and how it can have Salone. Because like we don't me and Mr. Shyllon, we don't out of that country there for long. The tell we been there, they will not be know about Okada or Kekeh. The only two who know as public transport na Sierra Leone Transport Corporation bus. We've been lucky for seeing double decker. We've been get then Nissan Poda famous operator in Afriton, na be Bundu. In fact, we been compete for the inside them Puda than they self because they get good music, you know. Then we be also get taxi them, real taxi where people like can dress. And we on this long day, they go call you taxi, they wait for you if you want you do much, say you was done. But all that they don't change. Now let's start with Okada. How the name Okada come back? Okada is a place in Delta State in Nigeria, an area in Nigeria. So the original name Okada, the man we get and how Okada come back, the man we come on in that region, they been get an airline, internal airline, where they move from Lagos for going to other parts of Nigeria. So because now then cheap airline where you go buy your tickets and you can buy your ticket, you don't know if you get place for day on top. Now they call it Okada. So when they begin to operate two-wheel, they call themselves Okada because the Nigeria will borrow that name. Because Okada na something way for fits the ordinary man. We don't get rules and regulations, and we don't take a literal saying that they happen. So how Okada then start? Okada starts now. This now some of the aftermath of the war, because during the time we get war, now bush road people them they pass, so now motorcycle them they use. Beaucoup them. They will get soldiers away come on Nigeria, Ecomob. Now they introduce that form of transport to we. Now, that transport, the first people that will begin, when we be after the war, in a member say, we will get what we call DDR, disarmament, demobilization for their ex-combatants then. So initially, then are the people that will start for ride this form of transport, what they call Okada. But as time goes on, Okada don't get all people. You get graduates the way they ride Okada. You get people that when a teacher when they ride Okada, when a part-time. Then, so, come back to the topic. Or compromise. So, that introduction, they were Guy. Like, go to me co-host. If you ask for any clarification before I can talk, waiting at the news, but then Okada this week.
No, sir, I don't get any question with respect to that. Once I may have a lot of questions afterwards.
Okay.
But let me just remind the listeners that the lines are open. Go ahead, sir.
Let me go to waiting happen why Okada then at the news. Because we call them bike riders. That are the poto name, the official name. Bike riders. Because they get the Sierra Leone Commercial Bike Riders Union. So we already say on the 7th of September, not September, sorry, 7th of October this year, the police, headed by the Deputy Inspector General of Police, the new man when they come in, DIG Edward Sam, now the number 2 to fire cell. So then get a meeting with the Okada riders there. That meeting, the other them in there, the big allejo we been there. You been get the director of the Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority, when I Reverend Smart Senesi. You get Samadia, when I represent the police. They will get the UNDP representative, when I'm Mr. Frederick Ampia. And if they say the headline, they say national agreement signed to foster peace, bike riders and law enforcement. Why foster peace? Because for a long time, we don't get a cat and mouse game between Okada and Kekeh and the police. And not only the police, the road safety cops then. Accusation upon accusation. The one side say they're lawless, the other side say then they find them unnecessary and then they harass them. So now that makes so then sign that communique or then go do this MOU. But not only first time this will happen. I go get for taking a back in time where then they talk about how to regulate them people here. we go back to a topic whether na safety we dey look for or na compromise with the compromise the law. Because in my opinion, then na my own view, as we can say, the law is no respecter of persons. My legal friend will tell you that. And nobody, then the other saying we can get, no one is above the law. And the third one is ignorance of the law is no excuse. So why this special treatment to them people there for say, let we go sign a peace agreement? Now, so then call them. And as you can see the picture we'll get here, you go see the people them, you see the DIG, the sign. You get the SLRSA director, the sign, because I'm in charge of the road safety corps. Then the middleman, the UNDP representative. Why for Dede? I don't know. But for obvious reason, because these Utkada people, the way they operate, na youthful people them, and Bokuten and non-talk say, na youthful people, the way they create employment, where they work, then self need for be able for do then work. So that na the thing will happen, and la go back to wait till we know in the past. We've been very good. If you want to continue on this preamble, Mr. Moderator, I'll call you moderator for this time.
Yes, sir. Yeah? I get one or two questions.
Yeah.
Question number one, you get the Deputy Inspector General, you get the UNDP, then you get the SLRSA rep. Question number one, the UNDP, let me just get an understanding. Now, United Nations, UNDP,
United Nations Development Program.
Okay, so I don't know if you can make sense of it, but this is a matter of our national safety laws. I would like for just get an understanding why UNDP is part of the signatories, something like this to start with. UNDP, I don't know what the United Nations will get for do with the controlling and enforcement of traffic laws them, that's Sierra Leone. Or why would they be an integral part? Because they signed an agreement. I participate on an equal basis with the Deputy Chief of Police and the Minister or Director of the Traffic Branch.
Director of Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority. When are the one they get in traffic cops, they will be called traffic warden. Because then say they enforce traffic laws.
How the UNDP, what role do they play here? Why are they involved? What significance is that? When they talk about sovereignty, isn't there a question there about sovereignty? I don't know how the United Nations will be involved in enforcement or regulating we local laws them. So the main question I need to have for starter, then I get some question with respect to the whole idea about signing an agreement or a statement of understanding between the police and the Okada driver there. Why was it necessary? Is there a precedent for that in other countries? I've never heard of such a thing. So those are some of the questions that I want to ask. Because we get an understanding what led to this signing of the thing, of the agreement. And it seems to me that did not call for signing of a statement of understanding. I think it called for enforcement of whatever the existing laws are in the country, But so maybe I hope I'm not too far ahead of what you're about to say, but can you tell me why the UNDP is involved? You get any understanding of why UNDP is involved here?
Okay, before I answer your question, I see we don't get another one of we Master Sabi people them or other person we don't join. We're in a Boye Jallo Jamboria from Norway. So welcome to the show, Mr. Jamboria. Before I answer my brother Shyllon in question, you have to make any opening remarks or comments on which I don't say so far before I continue.
Thank you very much, sir. I will just tell Fambul that I do, and I think after you answer that question, I will call with me on to drop in so I get on that issue why UNDP for involved. But you go ahead and answer the question first, sir.
Okay. Now, waiting I suspect say why UNDP for involved because they can always say this na development program, and then the argument is we'll get normally. Now youthful people, now youthful population now they involved in this Okada operation. And we don't get so many incidents of where they try for enforce the law in the past because we get for go to waiting it happen before we make more sense. Where then they set confusion. I give an example. They also they say so it's like UNDP because they're involved in development, and these people will say and the enforcement officers them through the heavy-handedness they affect the operation. So something that makes so then bring the UNDP man for can witness waiting happen. But like you, Mr. Phil to say it is uncalled for. I will tell you why go with him not happen before. And that in a existing agreement with them you don't get in the past. And let's give the history of all this again. Two things. One, from interaction with them people and they say police them and the SLRSA guy then the road safety cops them, then they take money in their hand unnecessary. Then they charge them unnecessary. And at times, yeah, this cat and mouse game. Let's go to the background. Sometime back, right? They go finally go through this, then because waiting me now in the past, because then they go get a clear picture, then I go left in a two now for comment. Right? As far back as 2015, we been get say them Okada yeah no for the run na certain part of the streets then. One because of congestion, and two then call and say now some of the area then defined what they call the central business district. So at that time in 2015, the streets the way them prohibits them from now Fube Road, Sani Abacha Street, Macaulay Street, Kuton Road, Pademba Road, Circular Road, Campbell Street, Benjamin Lane, Adelaide Street, Savage Street, Main Motor Road, Congo Cross, Ferguson Street, Jomo Kenyatta Road, and Rokel Street. So now these streets then they prohibit them for. Then it was being a cat and mouse. And then if you remember recently, where we get this new Minister of Internal Affairs, Tuluva, instead being come with statement, say with immediate effect, then for restrict them for operate in the central business district. But then they go talk about it. So then also we see say me said on the tongue not to forsay na hearsay where I see police officers and they chase their Okada ya na central business district where they're not supposed to operate. But I don't know if we controller they listen to me now. But when they do them thing and you get forget signs for show Usai and Usai. They know. You get forget traffic signs, you get forget road markings, you get for make them know say all the other countries in our West Africa, even Nigeria, will borrow the name Okada from. Then ban them from certain area. But again, when they ban them, you get for look at alternative means of transport. Now make so Lagos State develop, they don't go to rapid transit system now, bus. They don't get train service, they get boat service. So if you ban them, you will get for look at alternative. Whereas we in Salo now, within that western region, I would say Okada and Kekeh are the main means of transport. So let's stop there, give a time for talk. Then I will talk about a communique. We're not to just Okada, where we have been signed. A communique where they have been signed in 2016, where they're very effective. You understand? I think say law go back to that drawing board and then we get a 5-point agreement. And that's in Okada no more. You can get the Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority, the Motor Drivers and Transport Workers Union, the Bike Riders Union, the Passenger, the Independent Police Complaint Board, and the Anti-Corruption. So if you look, you will see them signing this. So let's stop there. Then I will talk about that communique will make sense. So over to you now. First, to I don't
Mr.
know how
Jamboria.
you
Mr. Jamboria, you can go first.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I believe, so with regards to the involvement of UNDP, we are a country that is being run by foreign donor assistance. And if we get to involve them in issues like transport management, etc., they have to have representation on some of these issues. But that notwithstanding, I think say this issue where we dey discuss so, not an issue where for even come up to that level. It's an issue of enforcing
Existing
existing
laws.
laws and regulations. You see, this they show a lot of shortcomings now with society. Countries are not run by sympathy, they are run by ethical standards. Maybe if you want to put emotions into governance, it has to be limited to empathy, meaning that the best practice, the best interest is what you look at. If this is good for the majority, so be it. But if they begin run things based on partisan affiliation, on relative connections, and things like that, this is what we have. Why, for God's sake, police and Okada forget problem, then road traffic wardens will come into the picture. In well-structured countries, then people are each and every one of them gets their role for perform. There is no overlap. You have road traffic wardens in the United Kingdom, but I think these people work with the municipality. Then duties mostly are parking issues and things like that. We have them in Norway. The same applies. They run the car parks, etc., then ensure say there is proper supervision. The police is the one responsible for road users. Then can come at any time, then team up at any point, then get a speed camera, etc., then control anybody, then they stop you at will, say you are over speeding, you light not this, you light not that. If they want, then they charge you. And when they charge you, there is no argument about it. You get a receipt or an invoice in your post or through your electronic email. Say you get for pay this amount of money for what you don't do. The best you can do now for discuss with them how you want pay them. If you want pay them in bits, because the minimum charge here for every traffic offense is $1,000 equivalent. In this country, they don't joke about traffic offenses because this country is a hilly country and the roads are most times slippery. So they're very much concerned about effective social interaction on the road, the driver, the user of the road, etc., etc. But in Sierra Leone, we dey see Okada, they bar off, he say, na traffic warden, they want for talk. So that give them the right for make that law. That would be ask. The law is there, apply the law. If the police is not doing its job, get the police for doing job, upgrade their standards, upgrade their ethical positions so that they will do their jobs. The UNDP definitely they in this because they know at certain point they would have to be involved with some financing or some project planning. Then go forget a consultant like we brother Mr. Mengot for go talk na saluting for
Okay, Paulo, left down this one.
they have to be there. That one you cannot question it. He who calls the piper decides the tune.
Yeah.
So this sovereignty law begin to put on the line Panam until we able to do business for ourselves. Yes, sir, over to
Over
you,
to
sir,
you,
Mr.
Over to you, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Thank you very much. The reason why I fully appreciate the participation to some degree of that of UNDP, because that then they provide probably, I think, by all indication, funding. I don't get any problem with that. But when it comes to making regulations, it seems to me the role for the advisory role, not an integral part of legislative role, because when there be a party, an important or an integral party to the operation or the enforcement of we laws, that is a little bit going too far in my view. Because I don't see the relevance of them presence there at all, because they can still lend we money and give we condition and insist that we comply with waiting at the condition for the money being given to us. And like you say, he who calls the piper plays the tune or calls the tune. I agree with that. So if where the piper come when on for where one call the tune will not agree, then keep taking instrument and go back, because this is the kind of thing I think they should even start showing us. But the other question that I'm concerned about is I'm questioning the appropriateness and the necessity or even the usefulness of having an agreement between enforcing the laws. How? Because isn't that an encroachment on the legislative power of Parliament? Parliament does pass certain laws, what we call acts, certain traffic laws requiring everybody, and maybe there are some city ordinances. Since we don't mix up the system now, because in some cities around the world, I'm sure Sierra Leone used to be like that. Freetown also they pass ordinances that will affect traffic, But since we brought another come, then you get non-experts who are giving expert advice, expert opinion. We don't mix up everything, so we get nothing but confusion. But what you may not understand here is now this looks like legally. I don't even think that agreement today is legal, because that's encroaching on the rights of Parliament and the City Council with respect to the operation and enforcement of traffic laws. I don't think the police get the power. I don't think the director for the Road Transport Authority get the power for do that, and definitely not UNDP. So there's a problem. This is what I always say. It's about time now with country for begin forget the right people and with the right knowledge for no waiting for do. This is big fanfare. Oh, the Okada driver, the Okada riders, they don't sign an agreement. But is it in fact legal? I don't think so. I think it's questionable. That is an encroachment. I'm not going to say then usurp the power of Parliament, but I don't think they even get the power. It seems to me they just don't know what they're doing. And
Okay,
I welcome, and again, I always say this. This is a definitive position I'm taking. And if I'm wrong, to say constitutionally this was wrong on the part and the police not get the authority for doing it, I like when a legal authority is the for challenge me on that. Show me authority either that can be done. So I mean questions in that one day. Because I think it's just wrong. They don't get the power for doing what you do.
I'm with you.
Okay, let us go back. Then say, Kekeh say, no look say for don't look say you book your foot. Yeah? Let's go back to what we don't do in the past.
If you go see the foot pan.
Whether approach there, in my view, it was a better approach and it still stands because that ain't like a legal agreement. But just before I go, when you talk about city council involvement, the young one and not be no say, there was a time in Sierra Leone where Lanke self they get license. We know it's in a Omo Lanke, then at the push cart. If you don't get license,
then two-wheel truck.
Yeah. If you don't get license, city council they give license for Omo Lanke. City council also be the give license for pedal cycle. Because then the traffic not in Boku people let me they use pedal cycle. So that then define
license for dog.
Yeah.
We own dog.
Then
Yes.
we go further. Yes. They say man's best friend. Because some they work out with your dog in a road, because some people like you take their dog do a walk. Your dog get for a license. If your dog not get license. So this is what we had. But let me come back to the approach where I feel to say, just like you can say, because this is going to make the discussion very good. Just like you can say, we cannot try something in the past and that did not nullify, because what they can't explain so. That is more a legal approach compared to what happened. So in the 1st of March 2018, right, there was what they call the Kintom Communique. Why they call it the Kintom Communique? Because not just the Okada and Kekeh people them, right? A lot of people them they complain against enforcement officers them. Why they talk enforcement officers them? Now SLRSA and SLRA and the police. SLRSA now they get the traffic warden. And again, I go if this year for the time being for say you make sure something for explain. When we get the law, Sierra Leone Road Transport Authority, we talk about transport regulation, the original law, 1996. So when they change them, they amend them for bring the traffic warden act, then define the responsibility. But one thing we then do, then say that law, the traffic warden then get the same powers and privileges of the police. So I know so you want to comment on that. Right? But now look at this Kintom Communique. The Kintom Communique would have been involved. The people that we come together. With the all sign. You get Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority. You get Motor Drivers and Transport Workers Union. You get Bike Riders Union. You get Passenger Welfare Association. Then you get the Independent Police Complaints Board. Then you get anti-corruption. So all the people in there then come together and do this Kintom Communique on the 1st of March. So they come out with 5 key things them how to solve this problem. Number 1, they say the police and the road safety authority then go work together for segregate minor traffic offenses for litigation and arrestable offenses. So what's in that mean? Minor traffic offenses now offense with a due ticket where you go pay the fine. Right? Arrestable offenses will be like if you dey drive your car, you don't get insurance. That you endanger other people in life. So they get for define waiting na minor traffic offense and waiting na arrestable offense. And go and make sure they make them clear to the general public as to how they go do that. Then a point number 1. Now, point number 2, then say one of the problems where they happen before between police and them people and they, not just Okada and Kekeh rider, even private motorists, is that we get a law say, section 87 of the Road Traffic Act, where they talk say, police can ask your traffic warden for present your documents, your license, your insurance certificate, and all that thing. Right? But the law say you can produce her within 24 hours. Right? But motorists, them, not just Okada, they say, they not allow them for do that. Now that they bring all this clamping and all the rest of it. Then a point number 2. So point number 1, differentiate between traffic offense and arrestable offense. Point number 2, now that idea of producing your documents when stopped Then number 3, this is an interesting one. They say the police and the road safety cops them, they are forbidden for advantage any bribe, gift, or token in the conduct of their office, their duties. So they're not allowed for take bribe, gift, or token. Like say, hey, Palo, we talk on a corner. Then a point number 3. Point number 4, to the public, you the public, because they talk about bribe and whatever, somebody they give, somebody they collect. They say you the public self for desist from offering bribe, because then they're under violation of Section 28 of the Anti-Corruption Act 2008. Now makes anti-corruption. Then the last one, now then checkpoints them. They say them for reduce the checkpoint. Because why? Then checkpoint the way they set, the colloquial name, they call them booking. And then it come back to what they say, safety or compromise. So enforcement officer them, then it is reported, not to the all, you get the good one them. Say, them commercial people there, then they give small thing for let them turn a blind eye to things like overloading or other things. So that tender will do them. These are the 5-point communique where all man sign. Then at the bike riders union, the motor drivers union, the passenger welfare union, the enforcement officer, the police complaints board, and also ACC. So that was what happened in the past. So now I left and so I know I don't talk Boku. I get me 2 people in the way go on comment. So other force they come on now.
Mr. Jamboria, go ahead, sir.
What you miss by everything where Mr. Mengot don't explain to we? I think we get an issue of duplication of execution of the law. The traffic wardens globally then get powers. Yes, we agree. But what thing I believe say happen when they make that law, we give them that powers then as Sierra Leone, they're not defined and domain who side and go use them powers then they. That's not a fault where we get per most of we laws then as Sierra Leone. They are not properly drafted. Even this constitution who they are about, if it was properly drafted, it would have made a lot of things clear. Say within this parameter or within this domain, that's where your powers are. Yes, traffic wardens, within certain limits of their duties, like Usai, somebody go park and not pay for parking, they may have the same powers as the police for execute certain things, then for make sure say, then seek justice or seek redress. But not when it comes to issues of using main roads. When it comes to issues of using main roads, thoroughfares, it's more of a police duty. And even with the police, there should be a national guideline as to the limits of the police duty. Police no just can't arrest you because until you get accident.
Just to interrupt you, sir. All them powers and duties is clearly defined in the Road Traffic Act 2007 and the Road Traffic Regulation 2011. It show waiting at the police their limits. It show when they for exercise their limits, and it show who side them for use discretion. Just before you go further, just make one law where they will not do. Where they over here is that we get a law now we book we say we get a penalty point system. That's Section 100 of the Road Traffic Act, which means if you're a persistent offender, then they give you a point. In Sierra Leone, they call and say then they bust you license. So where you don't accumulate them points, then get a right for withdraw your license for 1 year and make sure say before you get your license, you get for take your test back. We get a system in England, even for speeding. When they catch you for speeding, you go do speed awareness. It costs you money. You go do speed awareness training. Then you're on probation for 3 years. So we get the law. We get the guidance. One,
Mr.
we
Mengot,
need
why
we
I
not
can't
well,
go
let's
ahead,
just finish that. One,
finish.
we need for train the enforcement officer them of the law. They get for understand the law. They self need training. Then equally, we get for make the public themselves aware of their rights, duties, and obligation. That is the challenge we get. So let's stop there. If you want to continue before I go to
You're,
Mr.
you're right on point. You're right on point. You just push what I mean, they come up with one step ahead.
Yeah.
Why I say we get this duplication,
Mm.
driving systems globally, now then they operate on international standards.
Yeah.
That point system where they talk about license. Here in Norway, now 3 offenses you they lost your license. And when you lost them, you they sit down 1 year. After that 1 year, you they go back and do your theory test, where they cost you close to $1,000. You therefore go back do 10-hour training, where go cost you maybe $50 per hour. That's $500. Then you go now and do your driving test again, practical test, where they cost you another $2,000. The average sum for get a driving license now Norway na $3,000 minimum. So here, people
Not
then
for talk about you
consciously,
increase. Not for talk about you increase in insurance, because that's another one.
yes, yes. So here, people are very conscious about what they do. But in Sierra Leone, we may have all these laws, but do we have an efficient driver training system? That's the first question. Because all what you would talk so, now part of your driver training. Then they tell you I'm doing the training, say, when you do this, this not the penalty. When you do that, that not the penalty. Then they tell you the powers of the traffic warden within the city. Then they tell you the powers of the police outside the city. Then they teach you first aid. Then they teach you there, because the place they dark most times of the year, they do dark driving practice. How for driving the dark. You understand? But do we
Yeah.
have that system in Sierra Leone? And nobody can tell me we cannot do it, because Sierra Leone is operating within the international driving system. The only thing is, we they use the right-hand driving system, unlike a few countries where they use the left-hand driving system. But there are international codes that are applicable to every country on earth. And if we have the laws that prescribe these codes, why are they not being applied? I mean, the one way for execute the law, no understand them, so they need training. 2, the driver where they drive, not even no say them laws there they exist, so you need training. I think what you will get for emphasize on, for all them problems here for solve, now for emphasize on which strategies for the Ministry of Transport for come up with for do efficient capacity building for road users. And when I say road users, not only drivers, even pedestrians. With pedestrians, they don't know how to use the road. You know, for the work and a treat, would they see a salon? People then they left the curb, then work and a treat. Yes, we go say some side the gutter not good. But not complain let the Ministry of Works make them. If they not make them, now hold the government to task. But it's not your place as a pedestrian to walk on the road where the vehicle should be plying. We get a lot of problems for solve, but we need to get things done properly. And how will we get it properly done? Let the knowledge base in Sierra Leone be improved. If that man saying a driver, let him know the basic things about driving. If that man a pedestrian, let him know say I get right for waka, or say I not get right for waka. If that man a police officer where they work in traffic, let him know who say in power they for arrest or not for arrest. And let him know say, if you not arrest an overloaded vehicle, you go get accident, you are morally and ethically responsible. Then can charge you now for that. If a vehicle gets accident along a route where them prove say na overloading cause them, easy get the register of traffic police personnel where they on that route to not deal with them. Now the negligence make that happen. But do we have that system in Sierra Leone? No. So rather than complaining about God or not doing something for us, let us begin to do it right in Sierra Leone. And the last thing, sir, the last thing before I hand over, from what we dey talk, you dey see say lack of continuity in policy na part of the problem. 2015, something had been arranged which was more like a solution. Why should it change? Why should it change? Then we don't say, Okada not for go CBD, they not for apply this route, not apply that route. Why should it change? And why do we always have to be going backward to come forward in Sierra Leone? I go hand over now, sir.
May I say
Yes,
something,
Mr.
sir?
Shyllon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm in total agreement with Mr. Jamboria. And in fact, the more Mr. Mengot, the more you explain to we, the more it becomes convincing that we get incompetent people at the reign or at the top of runway system. Because these people, it's clear to me, not even know what the laws are, but then they give them agencies, departments, them for run. For example, like what would they talk about this point system? Anybody where, okay, they make frustration, these are simple solutions, but the people who are being put head of them departments here will for rarely come up with good policies. Remember the last time I asked the question, why are we replacing existing laws when there has been no evidence that those laws are not effective or efficient? I'm yet forget anybody where then the change with laws, then with the replace laws left. For example, we talk about SLRSA, SLRA. Well, didn't we used to have Road Transport Authority? Didn't they cover all within SLRSA, SLRA, except and traffic police? And didn't the police had a traffic section to enforce the traffic laws? In the 50s, in the 50s, didn't we have Sierra Leone was introduced to the zebra system? Because Mr. Jamboria mentioned people and pedestrians them for know the right. In the 50s, when I was a little boy, we got zebra system. Drivers knew then when you do cross that dotted line there, you for stop when people in the cross. As far back as in the 50s before independence. What
Sorry
we've
to
done
interrupt
with,
you, just to buttress to that. Also,
Yeah.
remember, say we dey get police the way they go a primary school, where they go teach you the green course code. Look left, look right, look left again. If the road is clear, I just want to add that.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
You see, but what we are doing, we are putting at the top of them enforcement agencies here people that we don't know what you mean you to talk about, so we don't get any idea. But they have certificates on the wall from renowned universities them. So then they can't scare people that want to know any better for say they know what they talk about, and they simply don't know what they talk about. So these guys are just toothless bulldogs. They can back, but they can't bite. But then backing will make you feel say, oh, they learned something. Because why all them, like I say, why all them fancy name here, SLRA, say this and that, we didn't need any of those. And you see, these are some of the problems. So just a stack problem upon problem. So I am continuity in policy, any efficient government as well for be. Enough for be SAPP, enough for be APC, a policy now establish regulation or practices. We're not for change. And if it change, there should be ample evidence as to why it should be changed. And it should only go in one direction. It should be changed for the better, not for the sake of change. Not for the sake, you know, the change policy for let's serve a minority for the inconvenience, which is what we're also doing. With the do away with effective laws, because certain people are within a position of power feel say the best way for operating in Sierra Leone for shortcut the system, which affects the country. So these are some of the things that we may not seem to understand. Mr. Mengo talk about driving documents. You get 24 hours if you don't get your driving document. In most countries, You must have your driver's license with you at all time if you're driving. That's the standard rule. But there is discretion applied. That is, let's say me, Mohammed Shyllon, had to drive. Maybe I left the house in a hurry, or maybe I not get the practice of having my driver's license. Police stop me for whatever reason. First thing is going to ask me for my driver's license and my registration. I say, oh, officer, sorry, I not get me driver's license. He has the right to charge me with operating a vehicle without a driver's license. But he also could exercise discretion just by talking to me. Maybe ask me a few questions. How long have you been driving? I say forever. I've been driving all my life. Then he can exercise discretion and say, okay, I not stop this man because of the way they operate the vehicle. It seems like the person way know how to drive. I stop him because in brake lights not they come on. I stop him because he was driving too fast above the speed limit. So that officer, they get the right for exercise of discretion, saying, no, go charge me with operating a vehicle without license. But if he does, which is also right to do, I have a right to go to court. When they take me to court for proof, say I get the prosecutors then get the right, if I can show a proof that I get a legitimate driver's license, I mean license not under suspension, they could dismiss the charge. Okay, so there are several layers. Then knowledge, then they now meet the advocates for put into the system, but you cannot put them into the system where all the people will make policies don't know anything about the operation of them policy, as simple as they may seem. Because what I just mentioned, so the court and the police, then they work together for make sure say the process is not abused. Now you make when you charge me with no operator's license, I'm not going to question you, but I can go to court and show the prosecutor, the assistant prosecutor, say, look, I get my driver's license. Go say, okay, good. It dismiss them. And not for unnecessarily congest the court. But simple as that may sound, if you don't know anything about the legal system of Norway, the legal system of England, and don't let people fool you because they get law degree from England, don't necessarily understand the workings of the system. Then law and theoretical knowledge of the law they have. I'm talking about people with practical experience who know how these laws are enforced and the mechanism by which they are enforced, because there are ways you enforce the laws. If you not do them, it will never work. It's fanciful. I mean, we have all the wonderful, the waitsman left all the wonderful things, but we not learn like a mechanic job. If you study engineering, I don't care who say, there are certain things you as an engineer cannot do, and a mechanic will do them because you get practical knowledge of how to repair a car. That engineer, the theoretical knowledge he get, and in his own right, he can think about all laws of physics and this and that way the mechanic no understand. He can able assess if a car is going at a certain speed and he try to make it turn, what can go happen? All the engineer, now the bookman, I ain't right that one day. But we get overlapping and stuff them, things will never work. We got laws just on the books. And without the knowledge how to enforce these laws will never work. But I don't want to dominate the conversation. But I'm just frustrated with the total lack of knowledge on them bookman there in another country there. These are just, I mean, I just don't want to call them names, but they're very uninformed, ill-informed people. Yes, sir.
Just to say, waiting you and Mr. Jamboria have been say things that we not agree before, we are still and we forget them. So that communique, when at the Kintom communique, which was signed on the 1st of March, the first thing we say in a talk about, we say the police and the road safety authority with the key stakeholders, then therefore differentiate between traffic offense for litigation and other traffic offense for arrestable. We can't do. But now they can't go to the next one when are the same people, because Kekeh themselves, and I feel to say there's no coincidence after these people then go sign the Okada, then cause himself, set confusion. But video, but what I want to say, make law. Some say you get for envisage the aftermath of law. Because remember what you have been saying when I start this program, I show all them tricks the way them prohibit Okada. And I've been show the sign we get for put. For make sure they can clearly understand. So how then Kekeh then care? Because when they prohibit Okada, most of the Okada rider then they switch to Kekeh. Because Kekeh was not prohibited for going at the center. You see? That's why when they make law, you get for look at the ripple effect. So Kekeh now within a 2 or 3 years, we don't get thousands of Kekeh. So the Kekeh people and then they drive like they drive Okada. But then self cause problems. So let's take a break because this program will like for interrupt. Let's show fumble now. Recently, where the Okada then cousin, I think saying that because then cousin them, their cousin say, well, they may not go sign with them. We say go take the law into our hand. If we technical team did let play this video for when another trending news on transport, but this time now Okada and cousin Kekeh. By the way, Kekeh now from Nigeria itself. What it mean now from Kekeh na the Hausa word for motorcycle. So na Nigeria will borrow that name they will call Kekeh. So now we looked at this. Now listen to this video then Akilef in a just comment and say this now Okada and cousin how then they behave.
Alright, we will continue with an update on things and where they happen around the country. As we know, Tuma created the podcast program, Charlie Moore, they always give you updates on issues of the day and things the way they border Sierra Leone. But of course, today, unfortunate incident happened in a shell way. We get traffic conjunction, we see over 100 to 200 Kekeh riders they block the road, na shell new road. You know, when they be do over 20 to 30 minutes. When they would block, you know, then they get for explain and complain, then drive some Kekeh over 50 kind of Tuma there and cars from Charlie Moore. When they come, there is a concern say the DTO na shell, when a DTO Ruben sees the chairman in Kekeh and he arrests him, he lock on a cell. When they explain everything, I began to tell him, say, okay, if you not believe me, I will solve the problem. I don't forget its phone. I call the DTO listening to me, I have to tell him thank you for that, DTO Ruben. From then, we get to explain to me the predicament as to where to make the arrest the Kekeh and the chairman. You know, when we go now the office, the first thing first what I do, because Ruben don't give me confidence, say we go solve the problem. I talk to the Kekeh riders then, they listen to me. You know, I began to command and say when they left the road, for let other users the way they will use the road, let them pass and go do their work. So unfortunately, come on, I also go walk, they block them, and if we're in our office 7, 8 o'clock, I think that's very bad. So I talk to the Kekeh riders and they listen to me as they come vocally complain, then come out on the road, then give road for other users and for use the road. We begin to engage the DTO when I Ruben. He explained you in brief. The chairman be the Eastern, you know, coordinator be of Kekeh riders and the national chairladies every day, and the crime officer and support officer Nakisi, who have for tell thank you because every day we have to harmonize the problem. When we eat at the DTO office, the DTO began to explain what happened between him and this Kekeh rider chairman. You know, when the DTO be off, they meet up in this Kekeh chairman, he load people and you know how they Kekeh they now. One new style long car, they make 2 chairs. Who side the person they ride the day, one person in the left, one person in the right, plus 3 other passengers behind as chairman. So when this chairman overload the Kekeh, the DTO go for come down, stop and he say, well, I follow this kind of way. And what the DTO will expect, he not say as chairman. If I don't come say DTO me that the chairman for Kekeh riders na this step at na free talk. Though you know for do am as chairman because you're a legacy maker. If you don't allow, you don't overload, what if you see other people go do? Then they go follow suit. So the DTO with his wisdom, he cannot stop him. He be out in family, he vexed by the boy. At the end, he not even introduce himself. They go for arrest the bike, they can go na shell with a lot of problem with him and the DTO. They begin for molest themselves. At the end, what happened? The next day now when at today, the DTO can find out that the chairman for the Kekeh riders not this step at the free. This boy take over 200 to 300 Kekehs then block shell new road. Until when me intervention day and the support officer have hotel and take in a kisi, instead we talk to them, they listen to me and listen to the support officer, we move them on the road, other road user they use the road. When we go find out say the Kekeh that chairman not get right for the issue. At the end, I him beg back the DTO say sorry, and the DTO make it very clear. Say I not be no say that the Kekeh that chairman. If I don't tell me when I be not stop him. He said me the police I can use my discretion. He said but if we need for cost me we have them begin and the vehicle. He said me say I not be taken light with her. So for one way the people like can use for go to bad. It be Kekeh rider now, it be bike riders now, it be drivers union now. We not try for know the issue before we not take action. I have to make them very clear as journalists say, the Kekeh rider, commits to the crime, he beg the DTO, he say he's sorry, he never go do him again. So that block on a block the road today, all for the other people not use the road, is very, very unethical. So I have to beg all the Kekeh riders them answer on a 10 key because they listen to me, who they can lodge on a complaint. That's so we do as journalists. This now is responsibility as community activism. So if what happen at Shell today, we beg every user, every organization or union, we not use the law now on our hand. When something happen, I get the LUC, we get the support, we get the ops department, we not go there, later harmonize them. And I want to tell special thank you to the OC na Shell, OC Nene. It stood hard this morning when I reached there. He began for explaining me back, he created the problem. I said, no, we'll fix first, no pull them boys in a wood. And indeed, he worked like man. Also, then I want to thank you, and the support officer na Kisi want to thank you. Later, we can forget the ops officer himself, now very vigilant, media professional, now the colleague, now the brother, but now in the head, the the ops department na Kisi na Jallo. I want to thank you for your vigilancy, and every other people who are citizens today will be the help for talk to the Kekeh riders and for left the road. So family.
Yes. So Mr. Shyllon, you take the lead on this before I will.
All right, sir. Well,
get a call on the line.
No, we lost the caller. No, but we'll call back. And let me remind the callers then. The lines are open. Please, caller, can call and ask any question anytime. Now, just listening to this broadcast journalist, what did they talk about? This just shows you how society can easily and quickly degenerate into chaos and lawlessness. Now, what would they talk about? Abuse of power. Sometimes not even the person with the authority. Okay, let us suspect you and say, let me take this call. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where's the call from?
Hello, Mr. Shyllon. Hello, viewers, family.
Okay. Yes.
Mr. Mengot and Mr. Jamboria, good evening.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Mr. Mengot, una wedding at the transportation, una the advice na the transportation sector. Una na the technical people, they give advice to the government. I think in a tiny so for stand up. The lawlessness na the sector is too much. I'm not against bike rider because anybody that follow viewers, you could not say me now one of the people are way proud of bike riding because I benefit out of them. But are they into bike riding 11 years? Not a day. I go out. Oh, sorry, just with an exception of one day, where they may say a riot day, or they say that we just do peaceful demonstration and stay at home until we get answer from the government. I think that all the time that one member take part in any way for do demonstration or riots. So what make I talk this? That for let people not feel say or let other people not feel say are they against the bike riders or the Kekeh riders. But Mr. Mengo, if you don't travel to Sierra Leone recently, you will not say things don't get out of hand. And who said we reach to this level? 2016 will be so bad. 2015 will be the ride bike na town. We dress decent. We run within up gone to PZ. When you see bike man, he left for take bike. even though the pressure be there. But then be decent. Yes, we'll not go say, we'll not be get the bad one, we'll get the bad one, about that, them even job backs. But it be decent. But Mr. Mengot, go now on a free to let you sort in the go on. In fact, one thing, anything where you can salo with the pasmakan, the population of Nigeria is over almost 50 times that of Sierra Leone population. But they will contain the Kekeh riders. But could you imagine I go on a free turn, I will only manage for see one taxi now the entire central business district. And this now the district where it gets offices the way they run the affair of the state. There is no taxi riders, only Kekeh. Kekeh, just imagine if it's risky when Okada they overtake now the right part of the drivers. Just imagine how that go risky if Kekeh do that. Well, that's not happen. The Kekeh don't flow up the town, they don't all over. You know, the town, Freetown don't become a very big village. Now that country. And it don't become one of the most decent cities na Sierra Leone. If they go na Makeni, you breathe well. If they go na Kenema, you breathe well. Kenema, in fact, they get a old place where they make special for Kekeh riders. You know they see them at the town. But go na Freetown, let you see. You know, this one, I go call back, like, just give me your own a perspective of the whole thing because I know say the time don't know. But this one will really government really get for stand. You know, I go call again in 2 to 3 minute time. Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome. Thank you so much. As I been say earlier, you see, based upon what in the caller just said, that go end up being the result and worse. Let me take another call. Because one for give since we the host then don't talk quite a bit, let me give callers a minute to call opportunity. Hello caller, what your name is the call from? Hello caller. Hello. Hello caller. Hello. Okay. I think the caller is having difficulty with equipment. He can call back. Let me just go ahead because time is going. Now, you see, there's a lot of things that are a matter of common sense. This joint communique statement of understanding with the police, besides the legality of that agreement, let's put aside. Practically speaking, please hold tight. Just stay on the line. I'll be with you.
Hello?
Practically, hello. Just hold. Can you please just hold, please? Hello, caller. Because I don't know if this is the same caller because we normally can get a caller who calls, but he drops, he drops, because he don't drop the call again. Anyway, the point here is, if we want to run country, let's run country right. Otherwise, this is just a matter of spinning with wheels. You know when you spin your wheel, like when you motorcar in a potopoto or you bike in a potopoto, the wheels they turn, but you not go inside because you not get traction. There is no point making them laws then. Yeah. First of all, I communicate, they forget the legality and the illegality of it. As a practical matter, it was uncalled for. There are laws on the books. Now, listen to what the young man explained, the journalist tell me. This man in a chairman for the Okada group, therefore, the Kekeh group, therefore, he now feels say if for subject himself to regulations or the law.
That's it.
Then he puts the police officer in a defensive position, which I think was ridiculous on the part of the officer for saying, well, I'm not being no say you're a chairman. In fact, that's the reason, that's all the more reason why for conducting himself accordingly. You're not going for no saying a chairman. You know? So I don't even think the police should have been even saying that, say, you know, be no. So if you be no, you will make it get away with lawlessness. So if then you're putting certain people above the law. These are some of the concepts we'll get to understand. And then take upon themselves, because from time immemorial, any transportation in Sierra Leone, even the Omolanke or Mr. Mengot with the talk about, you get loading capacity. Trucks from time when we know motoka, then lorry them, then get loading capacity. You can't exceed that. Now, then Kekeh people here then just decide on their own for make extra seats in the Kekeh contrary to law, you know, for overload. And then basically when they challenge you on that, you go call a group of people. Now, my thing is, this is one time the government will have been right. They should have arrested all of them who demonstrate. Because that's the only way you make a point. It has nothing to do. The instance of whether the Kekeh driver them, it is in their benefit if there are rules and regulations to follow. So where the police, the giving to lawlessness, all they are doing is inviting problem, chaos, and confusion. But I blame the guys at the top, because they begin for compromise the law, and begin for compromise the principle, then begin for compromise everything. I don't know that communicated with and say then go sign. How practically speaking, how is that going to solve anything? All you've done, you've opened the floodgate for lawlessness and ineffective enforcement of the law as it exists today. This is what I want to talk about. So yes, like Mr. Jamboria said, you will offend certain people, but that's what governing is all about. You can't please people all the time. Certain things for the general good of society. But this politics, this not getting the right people, it hurt the country. It really hurt the country. And then policy maker there, then I mean, not to the Kekeh driver, then I mean problem there. Now the one they were at the top, then Bookmaya, way na director, way na deputy chief of police, this and that. How can they just let them be bullied and pushed over by lawless people? I don't get it. But I'm back to you, sir.
Well, Mr. Jamboria, over to you before I go just round up and say some of the offense them when they don't commit. And before Mr. Jamboria, I just give you an update, because me and Amawi, they keep in touch with them people. I just get an update say the DTO will be involved. DTO Ruben, they don't transfer, I even come out 9 post. So
that should never even happen.
Let Mr. Jamboria kind side.
Okay, that should have never happened.
I would start by asking, does God really care about Sierra Leone? Can we stop praying in Sierra Leone? Because we they undermine the very essence of order. God is order. If God was not order, then the earth and the moon and all the other planets, them before don't bang themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Not them before don't bang and die, before don't cease for exist. In Sierra Leone, disorder is the new order. If you are chairman of an organization, does that give you special right for go against the laws of the land? That Kekeh then they talk so. Now, bicycle where they put a solid frame on top. Now, 3-wheel bicycle we get what they say tricycle where they put a solid frame on top. And how they shape them, that front side is so narrow. If you put seat here, you put seat here, that means the 2 passengers them on your sides are exposed. You not get safety belt for them. You not get seat belt for them. Let we say that thing for stop automatically at a specific speed. Yeah, the Kekeh not they run above 60 miles an hour, we know.
But that's enough speed.
If you get for stop abruptly, you know what thing they happen? Now the law of relativity, they take reaction. Then they send you before. you will decide. Though the question is, are those vehicles insured? If they are insured, do they provide insurance for such risks? Why we for create disorder? Who is benefiting from that disorder? How much money then guys here they make from them how then they do? And then money all then they make, how then they use them? Because when you look the number of Kekeh in Freetown, if they were really an organized group of people, then if I don't find a way for invest that money and go into other sectors, we go minimize the dependency on that high risk business. Because that's an high risk business. I think Mr. Mengot note here they talk cannot go beyond that because we have to be careful how they give out knowledge to people. Knowledge is not cheap.
I'm in agreement with you on that too.
Unions don't respect intellectual property, but they want it. So then they wait for a and talk here, then thief and go take money in IMF can do rubbish. So I'm not going to go beyond this. But what I'm saying is, why can't we respect order? Who is this chairman that for his sake, the DPO has to be transferred?
Yeah.
It showed disorder at the highest level. Whoever took that decision, and not care which level of society you're not part of the disorder in the society. Now, them people and they up here now they take them decisions and they're responsible for breakdown of law and order in the society.
That's my point.
And they're responsible for people having reasons to go out in the street and protest. So any tell people and protest rather than then go shoot them and kill them, let them fend the one that they create disorder in the society. Because it's a relative clear sign that we wish disorder. Yes, the man is chairman. That does not give him special rights. When I was vice president of the teachers union, I been a motorcycle accident one day. The police take charge. I had to suffer the penalty. They not give me any special privilege because me a vice president. You see, we don't take we country. I think nada RUF Dobosu mentality now in the rule we country now. That operation pay yourself mentality. Now still they prevail in Sierra Leone. Anybody can do anyhow he like as long as he make your life comfortable. Now that's with the show so now with society. We really need for come to terms with the level of disorder and disorganization in Sierra Leone. First and foremost, we don't need all that number of Kekeh within Freetown. Secondly, there is no structural plan as to how these guys will use the road in Freetown. None. Nothing they did in union and the transport ministry, SLRSA for Sidon, they go talk. That we not go allow now for use this route, we not go use that route for social reason. Then on the issue of taxiway, the last speaker talked about, from a recent information where I get from Freetown, somebody will go there, will come back and tell me, they say people are refusing to use taxis now because the taxi they don't become a danger transport. Either you are put on gunpoint, then rob you, or they use that for kidnap you or something. So there is this fear. That's why people are reducing or refusing to use taxis in Freetown now. These are issues that should be addressed by the authorities. Then work out strategies for make sure say people then feel safe with taxi. So that you will get side route, especially routes leading to the CBD when are only taxis go there. We go reduce congestion and other things. There is a lot of work to do in Sierra Leone. Mr. Mango, that's your area. But they allow not give them knowledge free. I let them pay. When they
Okay,
money,
now I think we're right in cause. Let me round up now. Yeah, for look at waiting the law. So we talk about law. Law take waiting happen. Number one, that Kekeh chairman, he actually commits 3 offenses.
Maybe more than 3. Maybe more than 3.
No, sometimes, Mr. Shyllon, you go add them later. Let me say the offense now, right? Number one, in first offense now under the construction and use regulation. You understand? Where if you get a Kekeh which is designed in a particular way, you know for put additional seats. Yeah? Then a safety is a compromise. Yeah. So you don't commit an offense. Because if Mr. Jamboria makes some comments, we ask, say, if they want to get insurance, because if they get insurance, right, if you modify the vehicle for people that we not cover, you are putting people's life at risk. Yeah. Because if they get accident, the insurance not pay.
Exactly, because they're not covered. That cover.
Yeah, the insurance people at the back. And also go to the people and say, we own people in there. Now they are the illiteracy guys. Me no go sit down, I go take Kekeh, I sit down front. No. So now 2-way thing. Yeah, so it don't commit that offense under the construction and use regulation, number one. The second offense we commit, right? Now obstructing a police officer on duty. It don't matter whether the man been there in uniform or not in uniform. Yeah? So now obstruction, right? We obstruct the police when they do their duty. So the third one is resisting arrest.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when you commit the crime, they want to arrest them. Yeah, and the police now, as they say, they begin exchange. Then the major crime, when we feel say them for lock up, now incitement. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they ain't gonna make in Kekeh people them can block the road for incitement. So that not the punishment. Like Nigeria, you know, with Nigerian brother, they will introduce them here to we. In Lagos, when them people are misbehave, then gather all the Okada and then crush them. So when they crush them, you understand? You know we get them for rider. In Sierra Leone, I cannot confirm it, but people they don't see them. So like when they seize them Kekeh and they or Okada, and then have some police station. I don't go to have some police station where you see boku of the Okada in particular. A while, because what's they happen, the system at Salon, the Okada man not to get the Okada. So if he involved in trouble, he escape. And he not to get him. Because the way the system, me buy me Okada, give somebody for rider. Now me stupid. So then Okada then they wait a day long in custody. Then he auction them. But as I say, I'm not going to tell you now who they buy them. So we get a certain group of people that when they buy them and put them back in the road. Yeah. And we got a big leader we say, I not calling himself. Now me tell we say call name and get kiss. I not call them and say we get a certain group of people there when they confiscate their Okada and they when they buy them and put them back in the road. So I don't put, but then for the benefit of because one going to our main topic now, right? When at the third transport topic we want go pan, we're very important. For the benefit of we listeners, I come back to what Mr. Shyllon said. Mr. Shyllon said we can just decide for the create organizations them through parliament, right? But this one, I will tell you, say it was right for them create them, but in order we don't get a Sierra Leone Public Transport Authority by where Parliament don't put all their standards, regulation, manage, responsible. the next program so will be a follow-up to this. We will for explain to Famble them that authority they way they and waiting at the challenges them. Because if we not tame them people there, right? I don't work in a various African countries in most of that, right? Nairobi, you not go see them there. And I know how we work for tame them in Nairobi. They were a menace. Accra, you not go see them. Right? Abuja, you not go see them. The only other country where they ended up because of political where they Okada them Boku, na Kampala. Because the president where they get pass a die.
Yeah.
In Uganda.
Yeah.
Rwanda. You know they see them there. They operate in zones. They are regulated.
Yeah.
Right? They're not just do all over the place. And again, when you say you want to restrict the movement for people, we get for look at putting proper transport. They will bring can now down in for other team. The Wakafa will bring can law left and so. We will get forget a special program for do that analysis there. So I saw I go left five in another comment. Now go to the third means of transport. When at this wonderful air transport where they don't talk about say airline. Because now that trending news. Over to you guys. If we want to continue to go on this, because we'll get another at least 5, 10, 15, at least another 25 minutes on this one, this new topic.
Yeah.
So any addition?
Well, there's a lot that can be said, but I don't want us to belabor the issue. Or like the officer, that chairman who would talk about. You're so right, Mr. Mengot. He should have been charged with obstructing and delaying. He should have been charged with incitement. He should have been charged with resisting. That's the only way you make the point across. You know, this is dangerous. And what bothers me here is it seems like anything will happen at the country, if it not directly conflict with the interests of the president, they not think say it is that necessary. Because if the interests will conflict with the president, the security forces will have been out there shooting those guys. You see? But because now poor people, ordinary people to ordinary people, they negotiate the law to the detriment of the public. Then I mean concern no more than I hate to say that, but it's so clear. The current government does not encourage demonstration if it has a political overtune. Okay? Regardless of how annoying or how harmful it may be, just a simple demonstration. But you get a situation like this where you get hundreds of Kekeh driver, Okada driver then come, riders then come, then create all this obstruction, block traffic. Not a single one of them were charged. And then at the end of it all, the chief law enforcement officer who did his best to negotiate, who I'm blaming to having let them get away with so-called murder, so to speak, then somebody get the authority, forget the man transferred, and we're going to be able to run a country that way there. And we better take a good look at ourselves, because this borders on the ridiculousness and the height of irresponsibility. You cannot run a government that way there. Back to you, sir.
Yes, Mr. Jamboria, one last word before we go to the next one.
The transport issue na Freetown is confusing. It's confusing, and I go ask say, you and the experts, do you like cancer and try for intervene? Otherwise, a lot of people's lives are at stake. Honestly, here's a situation, a simple enforcement of a procedure don't lead to a transfer. So what is the law for in Sierra Leone, if we may ask? What is the law for? Why do we waste time making laws? Is it Operation Feed Yourself mentality, Naine Ambogwi, or is it that we just know one for obey order? Is it the politics behind it that is the problem? And if it's the politics behind it, who is benefiting from this kind of politicking?
Actually, no one. They may think they're benefiting. Nobody.
No.
There we country there in a
Okay.
very dear. Now we go to the next topic, sir. But even we now when are the experts when I need to do something.
Well, one
Oh,
thing I
Mr.
would say,
Jamboria, Mr. Jamboria, like you said, not for free. Then they need
Yes.
for contractor. They need for pay for talents.
no,
Yes,
the one
yes.
thing I would say,
We go talk down
I
there,
don't do my best.
you know, don't worry.
I don't do my best, but as a patriotic citizen, even what would they do so self by educating the public, now contribute to the contribute in not in creating awareness. But a following program sometimes just I should say we can do a continuity for CC. Despite all this chaos, government does set up a new agency when at the Sierra Leone Public Transport
There we go again.
regulatory.
New agency again. How is
No,
that
well,
solving problem? There we go again. These people never
Well,
quit.
then get a new one where there may not be kids, but we're going to deal with that issue. So now let's move from ground to the air. This next topic was example. We see say then days there, beaucoup people and all they all over the glad say, well, the pardon doing work. You get other people there where they say, this year not routine because not the first thing this is happen. That start with the preamble. And based on my air traffic control experience and working, Sierra Leone, we been get Sierra Leone Airways. Right? Sierra Leone Airways, when a government owned, now I mean they fly mostly then small plane them when I try land them or Cessna, where they go Bow, then they go Kabbalah, then they go Tonga Field, then they go Bunt, right? Yeah.
Yengema.
So we get
Yengema.
a flight there. Yengema, we get a flight there. But equally, what you know they bring this history come. At that time, Sierra Leone Airways been get an agreement with British Caledonia. Right? So British Caledonia have been the parent airline for Sierra Leone Airways. So when they operate that leg, because when they come out London, go Freetown, na Caledonia call sign in the use. Right? But when they come out Freetown, come back to London, they use Sierra Leone Airways call sign. So now been partnership. Let people know this. After that, the next attempt to get Sierra Leone Airways, we partner with Air Jordan.
Jordania. Yeah.
Jordanian
Airlines.
Yes. Yeah. Jordanian Airlines. Similarly, we know we get plane because that time we see say Sierra Leone now self na the only country in the sub-region we not get internal flights. Because the main place there will be get na Hastings. Our na go see Hastings airfield. The other airfield and then Yengema, all them places they no longer exist. So we get international flights where mostly that flight they were Jordanian Airlines been operate for we. Now between London and Freetown because of the colonial links and affinity. And Sierra Leone, as we talk today, now the only country we not get direct flights to the colonial master and capital when in London. All the other countries, them Guinea get direct flight to
France.
Paris.
To France. Liberia you get flight to America. Cote d'Ivoire are the same. So after Jordanian Airlines, we been get Aer Lingus. Aer Lingus have been Irish airline, and I mean somebody called Mark Phillips. We been do red coats. Now I mean broker that deal. Where Aer Lingus again, now they fly under with Sierra Leone flag. Then fast forward now, we've been getting the last government. We get Fly Salon. We're down in Iceland here. Right? So we don't get several attempts for co-share or forget big airline them for can run as a national carrier or connect with London, because all the issue are for connect with London. But then this year, we hear say now a new one don't come because fly salon we all know say not even last for 6 months. Now we get air salon. We then launch this Saturday. So before we comment on this, because we in our viewers, we not like for can say we just a talk without evidence. Let we controller put in, waiting and put out from this air salon, then we can do an analysis for we people them. Over to you, sir.
President Bio invoke it be a very positive dividend. One big challenge we don't get over the years, now that blacklist today. One big step, now for this we registry, we flight registry, we open them, we able for begin for issue airline operating certificates. We see civil aviation them begin for do that day. And with this new airline, now we on country get for responsible for ensure say safety and security compliance. It's done at the highest levels and for conform with all the standards. And we hope now that by next year, all the restrictions early next year will don't depart from since the Pope now be an altar boy. This leadership team where they are don't they work for remove we so open this place.
Sierra Leonean skies are covered with an African airlines them, and are really happy for introduced to una Air Sierra Leone. Now Sierra Leone. Well, most times people then go say Air Sierra Leone, where then go down you read the name, even from where this the advert go out yesterday. Then go they say, hey, is it a salon don't buy plane? Now salon they can't begin to run plane. No, I just want to get this clear from the onset. Air Sierra Leone now a flag carrier, not a national carrier. So it's very good for us to distinguish these two. A flag carrier is owned by a business person where he can come, he get this airline, he decides say he go run them, and then he give him the name. Whereas as a national carrier, it means that this airline is owned by the nation state, by the country, not by an individual. The majority shares not by the country, by the state.
So this celebration where we celebrate today, Air Sierra Leone, it get many implications. As much as we can get, the benefits of what they offer, we as a state, they really use this opportunity for leverage on we ambition for be removed from the EU safety list. The last press conference we do, I've been careful explain to the public for say, in order for Sierra Leone be removed from this blacklist, the EU Safety Commission been one for see how the SLCAA they process them kind of applications there, because not that they use for assess whether we meet the criteria or we don't. So going through a process now with Air Sierra Leone, it is going to be the first test case for us as a state, and Adande we they be hopeful for that come early next year where the EU come for do the assessment, we go pass with flying colors. So that means that we not only don't get an airline where they do the routes them where they do, but the SLCA go down effectively show say it get the capacity for issue this AOC, and therefore the concerns where the EU been gets they're not there again.
Air Sierra Leone is not just a mere airline. Air Sierra Leone is a symbol of national pride. Air Sierra Leone is a symbol of progress and resilience. The concept behind the company Air Sierra Leone is deeply rooted in the idea of bringing the Sierra Leonean national flag back into the skies. And then it has a deep sense, bringing the national flag back to the skies brings this sense of hope to every Sierra Leonean. It brings a sense of unity among us. Our mission greatly is centered on one thing: connecting Sierra Leone with the world. Air Sierra Leone is a company for Sierra Leoneans. It will be run and managed by Sierra Leoneans and other experts together. Air Sierra Leone, now we own airline. It is not going to be done by other people, but now we own.
Yes, sir. I'll leave it to the way we will get this session. I mean, as I say, I've been an air traffic controller in Sierra Leone, and I get a lot of experience in bilateral negotiations on air traffic rights, especially even working in the UK Parliament for look at some of them kind of agreement here. So I will be like the possible will try for clear things for you. So we get time at least 15 minutes. So I don't know, Pina Tuda go on first start for answer question or comment. Will they comment purely on what to hear? And what to hear? Not to say this is not an official video by the Ministry of Information and Civic Education. So who do they go first, Pina Tusa?
I'll let Mr. Jamboria go first.
Okay. I have certain concerns with the effort for remove a blacklist from Sierra Leone. And normally blacklists, they come as a result of several issues, not only airport standard and things like that. Were we told who are behind this Air Sierra Leone partnership? Which airlines in Nigeria they come for use with flag for run Air Sierra Leone? Because if it is Air Peace, then I think we are just wasting time. That's as far as I can say for now until we get the other information available.
Okay, do you want me to answer that question before Mr. Jamboria, Mr. Shyllon take? Let me answer them for the benefit of, and let's clarify one from the beginning. It will make it easy. Remember, 3 things I'll get for mention, then I'll go back to Mr. Shyllon. From which to Yeri, no, I'll go back to you,
Okay.
Mr. Shyllon. 3 Yeri, number 1, the Minister of Transport say this now a flag carrier, not a national carrier. And people like want to know waiting at the difference between a flag carrier and a national carrier. And he said, when you register an aircraft, a flag carrier, now like I get flags of convenience and shipping. It means say, it means say that aircraft day, na Sierra Leone, na they register, and na Sierra Leone Civil Aviation Authority, na in the game that air operating certificates day.
Yeah.
Waiting at the air operating certificate, what is all about? It means say the air operating certificate, the regulatory authority, 1, you get to do check the airworthiness of the plane where they use. Right? Because each plane gets a logbook. If you don't get maintenance record, then for know how long they know they operate them, then for make sure say appropriate for the routes where they operate. Then one. Two, the pilots them, wherever they fly the plane, they have to also get them details. How long they know they fly, who's kind training, whether they certify them for flying them plane the day. Because plane are just like a motorcar, we'll get now. And so no more, we don't know where they talk about motorcar, because in motorcar, where you get license for bus driver, you get license for lorry, even by the type of lorry. So we go take somebody with an ordinary car license to get, go make it drive bus. So now the same thing with airline. So if na Boeing 737 then they use, then pilot and they get forget the Boeing 737 license and then flying hours, because pilot is a recorder and flying hours. The third thing where they do air operating before you issue them, now for the training system where the airline gets in place, not just for the pilot, but even the cabin crew and all the people there, we for meet the standard set by the International Civil Aviation Organization. But we hear said the director of civil aviation tell we say, yes, we'll be not in a blacklist, right? They want to use this now like an experiment for say, well, let them give them air operating certificate, let them allow them for operate before. Now that I'm understanding, I might be wrong. Let them give them license for operate now as part of the assessment we can do for let them allow Sierra Leone for begin issue air operating certificate. La hold fire there. I go to Mr. Shyllon. Instead go ask question.
Go ahead, Mr. Jamboria. I know so you not be finished. Yeah. Go ahead.
I deliberately ask a question. Who is the one?
Okay, no, now finish what you asked. Now finish what you asked. From where to get, where I listened to the press release. Air Sierra Leone now a completely new airline, right? Which means it is registered in Sierra Leone. Somebody be asked question in connection, because when they make a new airline, you can forget a big border.
Yeah.
Even airline we don't establish. Like KLM, now they oversee Kenya Airways. What done they for over 20 years? You remember I've been talking about the relationship we get for Boeing. But the airline when they say that the parent airline, now airline we registered in Nigeria called ExyJet. And from record we'll find out ExyJet, where for be like the technical, the big brother, not even operate for up to 4 or 5 years. Then you correct me if I'm wrong, right? And they not ever operate flights within the region. They only, as records stands, I stand for people like in fact check, they're only operating in Nigeria. They don't operate outside Nigeria. Right?
Exactly.
Now,
during why I asked that question.
Okay. Let's go back to the air operating service, because they say they go operate in West Africa, but they say they want to operate the first flight now from London to Freetown. How are they going to go through that? Then go through that because I will explain that for Fambulem, because they say then get an agreement with a service provider in the UK who is supplying the aircraft, and that aircraft has air certificate from the UK Civil Aviation Authority. Now, when you list aircraft, now two ways they list, and then get what they call wet list, then get what they call dry list. For this one, if you're in a new airline, now wet list then they give. Wet list means say the post where they give the aircraft, now you're responsible for provide the crew, now you're responsible for maintenance, now you're also responsible for the staff, apart from and insurance is more clear. So now you're responsible for all that. Dry list, now when they just give the plane, you get to crew. And nobody give any plane on an international route to a newly formed airline without they know they're in charge of that. So
yeah,
that I'll explain. I don't know if we want to take one caller now or low call.
Well, we can take a call. Take a call. Hello, caller. What's your name? Hello,
yes,
caller.
Good evening. It's Fredo Mustafa. I thank you. The team of experience today. We're all together. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
we will not talk about this and I make me I come in why this again I express the pettiness of the state we then call Salon. This na person, not to say now one guy na in the do this now just one guy one go do business as Salon like no more we get that other guy where they operate the boats them I didn't call themselves
Coach?
from Lunge. The one guy they,
Yeah,
they
from the
control
from
one edge.
Luge to Aberdeen and back. Yeah.
Yes,
And I see
yes.
coach.
Sea coach,
See
exactly.
coach exactly. So this now tell you back say because Nigerians they're more exposed, they know how to do business. Let me say so, international business. So they take advantage of the country where they call Salon, where if we say government of do nothing, we just did there as collateral. Say somebody there at the head of the government, and then we just sit down like that. We go and make big money. That's what the government is meant for. Because this way they go and make so this guy just won't tell you. They say the guy they go higher. Now higher they go higher. The Boeing from whoever they go higher and from. So like he tell ticket them, he get commission. Now business they go he just one can do. So now we all states look at the way they children make press conference. This is not a big thing. Now it don't happen so. Because we so petty. I don't know how then they think about how they take a country like Sierra Leone, where a small man from Nigeria, Jogu can't talk say in the can do business for Saloon, the Saloon government they dance. This is what I see here. And this what you give for say we even the ferry them we government for just buy 2 ferry run them from Lunge. They know even partner Nigeria man and they make money there. We sit down with the state, sit down, we go and big, we say we not get money. One single small business we will do. Because if Salon man will not get people away now, look at people away will get that money for go buy ferry. But at least the government can go buy if not 2 ferry sets, if not 3 ferry sets. Then they can't run them, or they make them say that other person, private person run them when our government ain't they get the profits. But no, nothing not the look they may not talk that they say they can't begin higher because when the president use a high chartered flight, they say they pay 150,000 anytime you go. They say they can't begin for charter plane them so that the president will fly now, other people go fly. So they know he lost money. It don't happen. No.
Maybe
The man they continue for fly, they use private jets every 150,000 after every 1 day or 2 days inside the week. They come they can't pack the jet, you go back, they can't take them back. This is how we are wasting money. This is not so we lose opportunities and not so we continue for being ridiculous. Anyway, man, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. And I think say for listeners then, I don't know. Can we do 10 more minutes or 15 minutes for the 2 partners then? Because this is a very topical issue.
That's good with me.
Let's okay, it's now let's do 15 minutes. Because there are more questions than answers. Mr. Jamboria, you want to continue or you want to pass the baton over?
Yeah, I mean, just one. I think you don't clarify the point because I think I get a background knowledge this small bit. Mrs. F spent 1 or 2 years in Lunge Airport, the Jordanian Bindede. And I know we had a wet agreement with them. As a matter of fact, now that make the whole agreement been fall apart at some point easily. Because we own nothing. It was just the flag that was put there. All the other things, maybe with 1 or 2 online crew when I've been Sierra Leonean, but the rest of it was Jordanian. You see, the risk about them kind of arrangements, then they won. Not to you, they agree on the airline's incapacity for flight to several airports. Now, the original owner It under a lot of regulatory things them we go limit. Like when they say we want a flight to London, but don't we want a flight to other parts of the world for make it easy? Don't we want a flight to the USA for make it easy for people who they come to America? If there is a
before you
direct
go,
flight,
I mean, before you go,
yes.
let me make something clear because I watch and clearly, right? Because waiting and say, because then they go make it easy for listeners, right? Then they operate in 3 phases, and that's where my question will come back, winner, right? 1, they say we will get a regional flight where they want to use an Embraer, when a 50-seater, and a Boeing, where I think now 150, for connect of Sierra Leone, then Monrovia, Abidjan, Accra, Lagos. North of Sierra Leone, Conakry, Banjul, and Dakar. But then they get the third another one winner, London, Freetown, London. Then they plan for start another flight for go America winner during the match. Now listen to the question. Here's the conundrum. The London part satisfy that because if the plane where they come on the wet list, it is being certified in the UK. We not get problem with that. Yeah? That's fine. But if you talk about the regional flights, waiting they not tell me, because this one they tell me even the frequency of the flights. They say that 3 times a week. They even tell me the frequency. They even tell me the price. Right? But the West African flight, they never even tell me the schedule and everything. And the West African flight, for letting them operate that West African flight, then get forget air operating certificates from Sierra Leone. So if the DG from your own word will tell me, he say they not allow we yet to get air operating certificates, which means you expect for let the airline operate before the European Union can certify next year. Say in a get the technical capacity for issue an air operating certificate. That is my own area of concern. Nick Alefansu.
Well, no, I would rather for you to go further because okay.
Huh?
Now I'm just I want for just
the cat before the horse.
Exactly. And remember, the first flight where they don't get time. Now this one where they London, Freetown, London, where they start the 2nd of December. They say then they begin sell ticket on the 18th of October. So it means now the target market. Yeah. Then and remember say the inaugural flight they come out to, if they come out London go, so now the diaspora and the target for go from here for go Tom. Then with that kind of flight, if you say they operate 3 times a week and they don't put the price, the ticket price, again, when they look at, they say a businessman and the car order, me they talk about viability. If they run 3 times a week, you can get a full flight from London for go Freetown, right? But how many people then from Sierra Leone can afford for the fly car England?
Yeah.
Why is it viable? And then how viable is it for you begin get, if you take somebody from Banjul, then I'm my own question, right? You say in a hub and spoke system. You get direct flight from Banjul to London. Why would somebody fly from Banjul, go Freetown for car London? Or you come out Accra, come Freetown for car London? Where you get direct flight from Accra to London? That's my question I'm asking.
The answer is there, sir. In Sierra Leone, we do business for emotions, not for returns on investment.
Okay, but remember say, as they tell we law make a plane, this is not a national air. It is a private enterprise, 100% private enterprise. And they make a plane, we roll now for safety and security. So it comes back to a question we were asked in the beginning. transport regulation in Sierra Leone, safety or compromise? The jury is out. Over to you, sir, Mr. Shyllon.
Yeah, another question where I get, since that flag carrying carrier, they make a distinction, say, so it's not owned by the government. I take it also to mean the government not get any stake whatsoever in it.
You are correct.
But so since they operate under with flag and with a register in our country, what is in it for us, meaning the country? What is the government getting out of it? Because you just don't let a business register and operate from Sierra Leone internationally without any understanding or knowledge of whether we are going to be given, whether these people are being taxed, or even if we don't know the composition of the ownership. But at least what in the government to get out of it? It can't just be employment. And if it's employment, it will also make sense to give us some projection, because we can't just talk in broad terms, say there will be employment. Because on a national basis, employment of about 20, 30 people, and that's almost no employment. We're not to talk about that. So it would be good for the government to just project to us, the minister and the aviation director, all the people who can talk for, say, okay, we get a projection that this airline go employ at least 50, at least 100, at least 200 people. Whether it could be over a period of time, and with the time span of time frame, it's about time we begin for Northern here, because we over here and that would see when companies then can establish in any state, particularly companies from abroad, where they can America. One of the selling point is now the number of employment will go create. The other selling point is the tax revenue where the domain or who selling the camp go generate. And also how you go benefit the other industries them, like housing industries and grocery stores, all in there. So we not to see anything of that. When we will talk about company in the camp, they're not telling us how the country is going to benefit from that establishment today. And I think the government has a duty to do that. That should be part of the due diligence for tell we waiting for expect and why it is good for the country. Because we don't forget, say we'll get a situation where you don't know how many palms have been greased by this Nigerian brother, way or the ownership, let's put an hour with it. We don't know whether it is not going to be in the best interest or even in the long or short-term interest of the country and the people. So government should not be just treating the people as if they are nothing, just say, oh, company they can, factory they can open. The factory, we get sardine factory, then go begin produce sardine, then go create employment. Then say salon would eat fish past everybody, all of which not tell we nothing. So it's about time, if this airline is going to make a meaningful difference in our economy and our employment and unemployment, let we know. So these are some of the questions they may get or statement they might get for make with respect to that. Until they say not to national airline, it's not owned by the government. So it's privately owned. If it's privately owned, what is in it for Sierra Leone as a country and Sierra Leone and its people? What we will get out of it is just allowing people and for just come, establish a business, make money and go. I don't know. We need to ask all them questions in there.
Well, before I hand over, I'll make one point clear, right? And I listen to and it relates to what you say. I listen to the interview in full, and waiting me to talk. What I'm talking is fact checkable. Because one of the people that will be there, now the people that will invite now the press conference, he asked a question. He said recently, then since a president don't call parliament out of recess, because Parliament they recess now. So if this now one of the things the way government Parliament will consider, the minister replies, say yes, it is one among several other legislation the way, because according to Leone'S Shyllon, it's in the constitution, if we sign any agreement with a foreign country or even with a local country, that agreement has to go to Parliament for ratification. So let's hope that what they ask for are men on the hill, the legislators, will ask those questions when they present them before them. But one other thing we will make clear is that it relates to this national airline and flag carrier airline. I'll give you an example, and I will give because based on my experience, because how they operate, each country gets a bilateral agreement with country. For instance, now, if now West Africa and the routes, now focus on the West Africa routes, here Sierra Leone go now benefit from with traffic rights between Sierra Leone and all the countries in West Africa, because it's the preferred airline and flag carrier. So that's what's in it for them as well, because they get for use with traffic rights. Because plane they come on one country, it go to another country if there's no bilateral agreement. So for instance, now we will definitely get an existing bilateral agreement, air service agreement with Nigeria. Now that makes so earpiece they operate in our country. By the time we sign the agreement day, we not been get a reciprocal flight where they go Nigeria. So now that agreement they exist. So this flight Sierra Leone will benefit from the rights all over West Africa. So that now one thing we get for make very clear. It just get for now make so it is a flag carrier, not a national carrier. Because the difference is the national carrier is either 100% owned by government or part owned by government. A flag carrier is 100% owned by the private sector, but it benefits from the fact that it is flying the country, so it will able to use the country in air service agreement to all destinations where they nominate sin and didn't cooperate. So let me make that clear. I think so I don't say enough now. We don't come to the end. I think so we can round up now unless you get question. Mr. Jamboria, first to you, which I don't, and then Mr. Shyllon, and then let's say we will come back to this topic when it go Parliament to get more information, because now there are more questions than answers. It's a good idea. A lot of we want for fly between London and Freetown uninterrupted, but then as they can say, the devil is in the detail. Over to you guys.
Go ahead, Mr.
I will
Jamboria.
not comment until we get more details and come for discussion, because I see a Robin Peter to pay Paul going on. What we will get, what is in it for us, Mr. Shyllon, is that Sierra Leoneans in the diaspora will shout that we now have an airline to take us from our cubicles in London to Sierra Leone to go and bluff. JC, that's as much as we can get from it. It's a Robin Peter to pay Paul. Nigeria against everything. I would end it on that point until we come and discuss it next time when we have more details.
Yeah, well, I could take the same position for say, let's wait and see what's happening here. But the quick question I want to ask you, Mr. Jamboria, I'm not Mr. Jamboria, Mr. Mengot. You say the minister indicates, say, one of the reasons for the president calling Parliament. I think normally when the president called Parliament when they're in recess, it will be for strictly emergency purpose. This doesn't strike me as an emergency, but you say the minister say that could be, or that might be, or that is in fact one of the reasons why the president is calling Parliament back for can ratify this so-called agreement that this.
Well, not this one in particular, but many other outstanding legislative matters that are of urgent concern, and this might be one of them. They'll say,
Okay.
so the minister said, might. He didn't confirm it. People to the recording and listen to the question and answer. The minister did say it might. That's all I can say. So
we'll
if
wait and
anything,
see. Wait and see.
yeah, I would now say goodbye to everybody, and until we meet the next time, thank you for listening to us. And we can always say, if we too don't say, if the government spokesman, they can reach out to we for come on shore on board and say anything where could clarify matters for we, or things where things that we say contrary to the belief or actuality, we welcome that. So Nami they say tata.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.